bird. Hey guys, you're watching Boondocking with Dennis. I'm heading over to Port Aransas, Texas for a few days, but I did want to make a quick last video in Rockport. Take advantage of this gorgeous day. You know, I really haven't seen that many boats on the water today, and I'm thinking that big spike in fuel last night might have had something to do with it. Those people over there have a pool right where those two white umbrella canopies are. I would love to get in a pool. Hey, let me in. There's only 5,564 of us, so we won't take up much room. I have not spotted any dolphins today, but I have seen two dolphins. And what I have spotted is Eugene. He was over here mooching on a fisherman. Apparently he's seen other people, which is fine by me, because I only feed him, I don't know, twice a week now. Yeah, there should definitely be boats coming and going. There was a decent amount of boats yesterday, but nothing like the other weekends before it. Fuel prices in Texas. Matter of fact, I just watched RV Living with the Geezer, and he talked about the fuel increases and how it's time to hunker down. And I started hunkering down, but it's time to get really serious. And like sometimes I'll pull over to do an edit real quick, and if I'm not moving in the truck, I'm shutting it off. I'm not wasting a penny of gas. I do miss those days of $1 a gallon. I do miss those days of we were in Austin one day, we got it for 42 cents a gallon. And I don't remember the date, but it was sometime at the beginning of Barack Obama's term as president. And I don't remember if that was fuel prices or if that particular station, gas station, was having a special. I could swear something just stuck its head up right there. Anyone else see that, or was that just the way the wave was reflecting? Could have been an egret or a turtle or a piece of something. Nothing. So I wanted to talk about my weird policeman experience. So when I lived down here in Rockport 2001, 2002, and somewhere in 2002, I moved back to the Philadelphia area. I was working in the gym then, and I hear a boat or something coming. I was working in the gym then. It's a boat. Wonder what kind of gas mileage they get. How much does this ride cost you? And when I went back to Philadelphia, I stayed at my buddy Matt's house. Matt was his fiance then, became his wife later. Actually, became his wife during this, right after this story. Okay. So, I was probably living there for a few weeks, and Matt was getting married, and it was the night of his bachelor party. I can tell you a good story about his wife's bachelorette party, but I have to check with him first. I don't know if he'd appreciate that story. That's what kind of story that was. I came home. I came home from work on a Friday. When I was working at the gym, I mean, you're just around people all the time. You're cleaning equipment. You're picking up weights that 100 other people have touched, and I always had a sore throat or a sniffle. I mean, you know what I mean? It was just constant exposure to germs, no matter how clean I tried to keep the gym. I came home from work on a Friday, parked in the street. His neighbor, it would have been the side of his house, right on the corner. I parked right at the end of Matt's driveway on the street, where I always parked. And Saturday came, I wasn't feeling good, didn't go anywhere. Saturday night was Matt's bachelor party. And Matt's younger than I am by, I don't know, 15, 20 years? I have no idea. And so it was all friends his age. And I said, Matt, I'm legit sick. And he knew it. You know, I actually would have liked to have gone, observe and report and have a couple beers. But I didn't. I went to bed. At about 1 or 2 in the morning, Matt and all his drunk buddies come back to the house. You know, the after bachelor party. So I got woken up. You know, no big deal. Hopefully you only have one bachelor party in your life. And I went downstairs and said hello to everyone. And Matt had a guest room that was a small computer room. So I went up there and played on the computer. I know I wasn't getting any more sleep, you know. So they're having a party, all kinds of noise, you know, normal bachelor party stuff. And Matt comes upstairs and he is white, like white as a ghost. And he says to me, there's a bunch of cops at the front door and they asked for you. So I'm thinking this is some bachelor party prank. And I'm like, okay, you got me. He's like, no, seriously. So I go downstairs and there's a bunch of cops at the front door. Ridley cops dressed like Philly cops. Almost like, now I'm not comparing them. I'm comparing the uniforms. Back then it was almost like, I don't want to say that. With the high boots and the leather jackets. And it was a great look at the time, but reminded me of a certain German group, you know, of authorities. There you go. So I go out the front door. Now, remind you, I'm the only sober person in that house. One cop says to me, a younger cop, I'm only going to ask you this once. And I'm thinking, oh, good, that'll save us a lot of time. Were you involved in a hit and run tonight? Now I'm thinking one of these drunks hit my car or something. And I said, no, sir, I haven't left the house since I got home yesterday. So they talked to me for a minute, and all the other cops are kind of satisfied, you know. They're kind of walking away. And this one cop is persistent that I was in a hit and run. And he's being quite the dick, to be honest with you. Now I had a Beretta then, and it had a cracked windshield, but it had a cracked windshield for 2 years, you know. I mean, it certainly didn't look new. It was probably 12, 15 years old by then, but it wasn't, you know, the front wasn't caved in with blood all over the hood. So I talked to the one guy that was a sergeant, and I kind of recognized him from around town. And I said, "What? So there was a hit and run, and someone reported a red car?" And he said there was a hit and run. Someone reported a 4-door maroon car. And I said, okay, are you satisfied that it wasn't me? And of course, my drunk Matt and his drunk buddies are yelling out the door, giving me drunk advice. Don't say anything without a lawyer. Only, they're serious, which isn't really helping my case any, And I have probably told this story before, so I apologize now that I'm telling it. And I said to the sergeant, how long ago did this happen? And he said like 45 minutes or an hour. So it was recent, and It was in front of a bar, maybe mile and a half away, and I guess some people saw the car that, my car doesn't even fit the description, and the one cop was just driving by and saw a car with a cracked windshield that didn't really match the description and took a shot. You know what? I don't even have a problem with that. Maybe it would have panned out, But it was obvious to everyone but this one cop that he had the wrong car. So I said to the sergeant, I haven't driven any. It was cold out. It wasn't freezing, but it was cold. I said, I haven't driven anywhere since 5 o'clock yesterday. He said this happened, 45 minutes, an hour ago. Do you want to feel my engine block? Right? So I pop my hood. He feels my engine block, puts his hand on it, and like waves to everyone. Let's get out of here. This is embarrassing. I get it. They took a shot. The one cop is telling me not to go anywhere because he's sending. First, he said ballistics, and then he corrected himself and said forensic team, and they're going to go over my car. And I said, I said no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go about my business as an American citizen. And they all left. And now I'm pissed, because this cop's just being a dick for no reason whatsoever, where everyone else, all the other officers, were reasonable. And I drove to a convenience store called the Wawa, which was like a block away. And all the cops are at the Wawa, including that cop, but he didn't say anything. So that was just a bizarre experience for me, to like, not even to be questioned, to be accused of something like that. So now when it comes to the parking in a handicap zone and not displaying my placard, that was definitely me. Hey, that piece of whatever that was is gone. Huh. Look at that. Came up with a happy ending. So that's my bad encounter with the police. Well, guys, thanks for listening in this morning. I think the next few days will be from beautiful, gorgeous Port Aransas, Texas. I appreciate you riding along today. Thanks for watching.